everything will be solved legally. If they're in the penalty code, if they made some damages to you, then the court will decide.
Right.
We'll discuss this offline as well, Maxim, but I agree with you in principle. Thanks.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
for that. So next, I am very thrilled to be introducing Yomi to everyone. I have a very high regard as well for this gentleman, all the way from Nigeria. If I can just ask our technical team to give him access to share his presentation, please. So Yomi is the founder and CEO of CMC Communication in Nigeria. He's been heading up the team for the last 28 years. And he's also the president for the African Public Relations Association, so giving us a very broad view as well from an African perspective, and a very big forerunner for getting the narrative right when it comes to all things African. So Yomi's topic is going to be, how have international institutions such as the World Health Organization and other countries managed communication around COVID? Who came up tops? Who lost the plot? So we're very, very eager to get your thoughts on this. So over to you, Yomi.
Okay, thank you very much, Renee. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. Let me first and foremost congratulate the organizers and thank them for the privilege of having me share thoughts. I'll go straight into my paper, and I would like, if I can be given the rights to share. I have a few slides which I'll speak around, and we did that so that we can share that information once this is over. So if I have the rights to please share the screen, and yes, someone please give, yeah, okay. Right. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Can you please see? Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can, Yomi.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, sorry, I need to do something because I need to, in sharing. Let me go out again. I'd like to do that again because let me stop sharing and I'll do it again because I didn't. Yes, your screen. All right, thank you. All right. Okay, now we'll start from the World Health Organization, which is where we ought to do. That's the global body for health management that we know. Now, during this pandemic, the WHO a digital approach to communication. One, they created interactive content in forms of videos, from press briefings, animated and infographic videos, shared on Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. Now, text messaging was also used to send safety messages across, and then working with key local government institutions, this provided citizens with the relevant data and information to be shared. Now, this is as of October 5th, I believe, and it gives us a dashboard in terms of what is going on with COVID, and this is a dashboard that was created by WHO. And real time, if you haven't accessed it, I would suggest that you should go and you should visit it. As of today, we have confirmed cases of 35 million confirmed cases. And as of that particular day, we had new cases of 294,000 plus. And as of that date, October 5th, we had 1 million, just over 1 million deaths, of which, of course, you know that United States of America takes 1/4 of that, or 1/5, I beg your pardon. Now, at the beginning of it, this was a virus we're not used to. And so there were there was conflicting information, even from the World Health Organization. First, it couldn't be transmitted through handshakes and so on and so forth. It couldn't be transmitted airborne and all that. So a couple of times, the WHO had to recant, I beg your pardon, its initial risk assessment, saying that it was moderate. Although the DG has often been accused, especially by America, of politicizing the virus. But in my own estimation, I think the WHO has been able to largely set the records straight. And they did this through consistent messaging, regular updates, like the dashboard that I just showed you. And then, of course, the DG leading the charge for it. Now, we also talk about the Center for Disease Control, and they also took drastic steps in communicating the pandemic, using digital platforms also, and basically the messages of wash your hands, disinfect properly, stay at home if you're sick, of course, touching your face, and of course the distancing. Now we go to the countries who did well, because that's part of the question that was pushed to me. In this, and I think this has also been mentioned by the very first speaker, New Zealand did very well. The Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, built public trust through regular appearances on social media and posts also aimed at children. Now, as of the 9th of May, the country had fewer than 1,500 confirmed cases and had below 25 deaths, 20 to be precise. So the effort was really coordinated with early bans, restrictions, social distancing policies, and wide-scale testing. And the central slogan, we must go high, and we must go early. Okay. Now, Vietnam also did very well. It had a combination of digital approach and digital and traditional approach to communication. It has been recognized as one of the countries that handled the outbreak very well. Despite being very close to Wuhan in China, the narrative they deployed was very simple, clear, and they used imagery, especially wartime imagery and rhetoric, to invite people from all walks of life to join the government in fighting the disease. I'm going to play for you a video that was they also deployed loudspeakers and a network of mass organization regular text messages. Now, the virtual sing-along really caught fire across in the country, and people were dancing, deploying different kinds of steps to it. So it naturally developed a life of its own. Nobody had to pay, and it just took on that. Okay, I think that's that. So that is, compare that with what happened in the United States of America. And I'm sure I don't need to speak too much on this. We're all having side seats for how that is going. Such that America has, I think, less than 5% of the population of the world, but has 20% in terms of contracting and in terms of death. America evidently lost the plot, especially in its communication. One, the slow response to the virus, and in terms of the blame game that was, of course, at the blame game and the politicization of the virus in itself, and some of the remedies, how we could stop the virus. So there was a big politicization in terms of masks, should people wear masks or not wear, in terms of social distancing, in terms of shutting down the economy so that, it could stifle out the virus or the spread of the virus. So, and then in the communication, one thing that it showed was that when the leader is in dissonance with what science is saying, there's a major problem with that. And I'm not going to talk too much because you already know how that goes. Was there visible international coordination in communication? I would say yes and no. While there was direction from the WHO, globally, different countries took different directions in terms of communication. Now, while this may seem to have a shortcoming, it is still critical to tailor communication considering the peculiarities of each country. The COVID-19 pandemic has literally redirected public to using more digital channels, not only for information, but in terms of entertainment and business as experienced during the lockdown. Like this, this conference that I have the privilege to be addressing right now, I would have had to hop on a flight and go all the way to South Africa and spend some days. So in terms of business, in terms of other aspects of it, the pandemic has significantly shown us a new way to do that. Now, lessons for the future. Many worry about the reliability, I beg your pardon, of the information that they get from coronavirus. And the communication must use our 3 Fs, which we have taken. 1, it must be factual. 74% of people, and I'm now quoting from the Edelman Trust Barometer special report on the coronavirus. I'm quoting from there. 74% of people worry about fake news and fake information being spread about the virus, especially at the early stages of it. A lot of us did many things. Oh, we're inhaling, we're turning this, we're doing, drink tea, take ginger, and so on and so forth. There was so much information about it that so many of us were misled. Make sure you drink hot water down your throat because the virus exists in your throat, and once it goes into your stomach, then nothing happens, and so on and so forth. Now, 45 says it has been difficult to find reliable and trustworthy information for 5%, and 85% believe that we need to speak more to scientists and listen more to scientists, I beg your pardon, rather than politicians. Therefore, in conclusion, it says that there's a definite concern about fake news and fake information being peddled around. Now, the second F is fast. In terms of we must give out the information very fast, and it must be very accurate. Again, you see the statistics that we have there. And then finally is frequent. Let me go back there. Finally is frequent. 7 in 10 follow coronavirus daily. Yeah, the percentage of those who say they follow the news at least once a day or several times a day. Now, according to the Edelman Trust Barometer, and you've got the figures there, we even have the countries there. We don't have a lot, I think it's only South Africa that we have from the continent there. It says, according to the barometer, 7 in 10 respondents are following coronavirus news in the media at least once a day, with 33% saying they're checking several times a day. You've got So what are the narratives? What are the lessons for the future? Our narratives must be engaging and must be relatable. 2, it must be simple, clear, and empathic. Slogans also go a long way in disseminating the message, as we saw in Vietnam.
Yomi,
1,
I'm so sorry
yes,
to have.
just my last slide.
Okay, cool.
Okay, just the last slide. This is set up a crisis team led by the most senior executive, lead by example, and be ready. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, and perfect timing. Thank you to all our speakers. I think, Victor, you're going to